Welcome back to the Property Power Couple with Colton and Haley, providing comfort and confidence to your real estate experience.
Oh, geez. Hey.
Hey, new mics, kind of. We're figuring it out.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yeah, everything's fine.
How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm well.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what else is very well right now?
What?
The inventory numbers in our area.
They are.
They
Yeah.
are great.
They are well, I guess.
They're high. They're much higher than they ever have been in my career.
Yes, ever have been. Definitely in the last 5 years. The market's
Easily,
been insane. And now, depending on what the numbers say, I know you were just looking at all of that kind of stuff, but you know, when did you say it was between 5.5 to 6.2?
Yeah, depending on the source, anywhere from 5.5 to 6 and some change
months of inventory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that means, okay, so let's look back at like height of COVID timeframes, or is like 0.2 months of inventory.
Yeah, and even then, I think there was some conspiracy theories about it was so low that they just kept putting 0.2, and like it's actually zero.
Let's not go into that part. However, there were definitely, we were excited when it got to a months of inventory.
Yeah. And
that was just in the last couple of years. Now we're up to 5.5 to 6.5, depending on the data and when everything came in.
Exactly.
So what is a normal market?
6 months.
6 months would be a normal market. Under that would be a seller's
market.
Over that would be a buyer's
market. Yeah.
So technically we're in this like little normal range. This is a balanced market. However, our buyers haven't seen this much inventory
ever
in years.
Yeah.
So
maybe not ever, but yeah.
And definitely in years.
Yeah.
So for us, it is feeling more like a buyer's market.
Oh, definitely. Well, I mean, it's going to keep creeping on you. Just like the inventory did.
Yeah.
No, but it definitely gives more options. And we've talked about it too, of people having more opportunity to shop and really be able to see a house a couple of times before they had to make that decision. And so there are there are pros and cons to everything. Sometimes it may feel like, well, we are seeing those days on market kind of creep up too. And so, what does that really mean and how does it look? Well, for the buyer, it means you have more opportunity, more options, and you have a little more leverage than you have had in the last 5 plus or minus 2 years, or plus 2 years.
Yes, absolutely. We've shown buyers homes more than one time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back and look at that. You liked these 5. Let's go back and look at that one again. Obviously, days on market are increasing.
Yeah.
Why? The months of inventory is increasing because they're sitting on the market longer, right? However, for buyers, there are options.
Yeah.
You can go pick a house that you truly want over, hey, we know it's a good time. Life is happening to us. We now work from home. We now, whatever it is, and just kind of grabbing what you could and pouring extra money into it that maybe you didn't, well, you had it, but didn't maybe want to spend it like that or whatever it was. Now our buyers are able to look up more things, pick that out. Exactly. For our sellers, they want to sell. That's why it's on the market.
That they do.
Right? So, sellers are like, why is it sitting so long? Well, because everything that everyone's all worried about, they're worried about the interest rates, they're worried about the election, they're worried about all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that has a factor on it. But you just got a buyer under contract. Yeah. And the house was priced well. It was priced really well. Well, it was in situation. That price point, right? It was in the, what was it, like under 300, like 260, 265, somewhere right in there. So in a great neighborhood. And so it was one of those types of properties where they had multiple offers. We knew that was going to happen because of the price point, and we knew we needed to be aggressive and move quickly. Buyers, you still need to be prepared. Yeah. You still need to have your pre-approval. You still need to know what you want, have those consultations, have your buyer representation agreements in place. When the right property comes up, you're ready to rock. That's still there. Right. And you might be able to look at a couple more options than just the one, get it, go. Right. So you were ready with your people, and then you went under contract. And tell me about that.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway there was that, we go see the house, they're like, yeah, let's go ahead. We want to move forward, see if we can make this work. And suddenly I'm not writing this offer from the standpoint of, okay, we are going to have to give rights to this, and we're going to have to figure out how we can give them more of this and make this a very seller friendly contract, right? It was something where we said, okay, well, here's what we're going to offer, and we're going to put everything in the offer, present what it is that we want, and and we're going to go from there, and we'll negotiate it out. And what we ended up being able to do was exactly that. Mm-hmm. We had a little bit of time to get it together. We got it together. We sent it over. And I really think because we had been having the conversations with that other agent, because we had been working diligently to put this all in the right spot, that we were able to get the offer negotiated and done.
Mm-hmm. So you said two things. You built a relationship with the agent, the listing agent, and you put it in the offer.
Put it in there.
So you put what in the offer?
I put closing date. I put down payment.
You put price.
I put price.
All the terms that you normally put in there,
as well as some compensation.
Mm-hmm. So our fun industry, that we are, one of our friends has made sweatshirts. Yeah. We're gonna put the link in here because they're amazing. But that just say, I guess, PITO, PITO. Put it in the offer.
There you go.
Big across the front. You'll see a picture because Christian's great at adding all this cute stuff in for us. Here's the link. He now has doormats. Yeah. Sweatshirts, shirts, all kinds of swag that says put it in the offer. Okay, so if you would like to get your listings a doormat, say that. But it's so true. Mm-hmm. So, you were having the conversation with the agent. You weren't necessarily asking like what compensation are you paying, but y'all were talking about what do they need? Do they need a lease back? What's going on? And then what happens?
Well, that's the greatest part about it, right? Even before all this, I'm calling the agent and I'm asking those exact things. Mm-hmm. Do you need a lease back? What is it that they're really looking for here? Obviously, we understand that price is a huge component, probably 75% or more of the total offer. But if there are specific needs that your people have, and my people want to buy, your people want to sell, if we can figure out a way to make the terms work, okay, well, we're having that conversation. And then it came back, well, we're not necessarily setting that price, right? They weren't setting that compensation, which props to them. We're not sharing it. We are priced where we are, and keep that in mind when you're writing your offer.
Yes.
And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah. So it's not our verbatim verbiage that we are telling, like how we would have answered it. However, she said the same thing.
Yeah. She didn't recite 11F and
she didn't say I'm only allowed to say blah blah blah. She said, hey, take it into consideration when you're writing your offer, and that way we can get this deal done. Right. She told you what you needed to know to get the deal done. Neither one of you were trying to be all around, loopholes or anything. And it was the exact same way that we wanted it done anyways.
It's a beautiful
thing.
It
worked out perfect. Yeah. And guess who got the contract,
Bingo.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that was huge. It was huge to see it in real life, because I think a lot of times if you're listening to this stuff, listening to guidance, you haven't had a buyer, or our poor sellers who've had to deal with this little shift for a minute. The showings definitely were like, halt. Yeah. What's going on? And then kind of got back to normal.
You can see it sort of start and stop.
And people were trying to figure it out. And now everyone's kind of got their verbiage down. The ones who are actively practicing, the ones who are showing up to trainings, the ones who are being engaged are getting that down. But then it's like, oh my God, but how do I actually use it? Because I'm getting all this content from everybody, and then I get nervous, and it played out totally fine.
And even for me, walking through that process here recently, I've been asking myself the question,
sorry,
is this really going to work? Right? Because we've seen it on the seller side. We hadn't necessarily seen it really all the way through on the buyer side come to fruition totally, and we're seeing it happen, and we're seeing it. You're killing me with that thing.
I'm sorry. He told me I have to talk directly into it, not like from the side or anything. Mm-mm. And it's like in a weird, and the thing is different, and y'all know I use my hands.
You should negotiate something with your cords there.
I would like a new stand, please. It's stressing me out.
We're gonna go on Amazon when we're done with this.
Thank you.
So in the end, it was a great situation, and love working with that agent, continuing to love working with that agent moving forward.
It's been great. I mean, it's just like, how do we get buyers?
Yeah.
Right? You have to build a relationship. You build a relationship with people, your sphere, who you've worked with in the past, all that, so that they'll give you referrals for buyers. Well, if you don't build that relationship with the other agents in your community that you're working on the listings that you're showing, it makes it a little bit harder. You picked up the phone, called her, hey girl, what's up? Yeah. I'm excited to go show your property. They loved it. Hey, we showed it. They loved it. We're getting ready to run an offer. How can this help out your client the most?
Bingo.
I mean, these are all normal things. We hear a lot of people also say, oh, I put it all in the offer, I always have, send it over. Well, good. But we know that whenever you answer your phone, when you call the other agent, when you do all that, build that relationship, the deal goes, everyone has more fun.
Yeah.
First off, everyone has more fun.
Well, and even that training we just went through where they're talking about 12% of your actual close rate or 12% of your conversion rate is regarding your competency in the business, and the rest of it is about your ability to build a relationship.
Yes.
And real estate, whether we love it or like it or not, is a relationship business.
Yeah.
And you are absolutely, when you said that you have more fun when you're talking to people and you're building that. Yeah. And it's stressful enough at times in this business to do the business. So why not do everything you can to have a good time while you're doing it?
Right.
And build those skills, having conversations with people you don't know.
Maybe make another friend in the industry.
Heck yeah.
Because I would definitely like more of those.
Heck yeah.
Right. I love whenever a contract comes through and I know that other agent, or I see one of our agents working with somebody that I've worked with in the past.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And they tend to go better. And when you just said, like, you know, it's not all about what you know. It's also about who you know.
Yeah.
And whenever we were asked kind of like, what do we sell? What do we give? Right? We're building relationships. We're doing all of that. Anyways, the whole thing I was going to try to lead us to was going to say comfort and confidence.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
What we provide.
We do comfort and confidence. We provide it. It's in our slogans. It's everywhere because those are the words that stood out to us. And so I was going to set you up all nicely for this. Like, hey, have you provided anybody any comfort or confidence in the last week?
I have. I'm so glad you asked. So comfort and confidence, we were talking about how do we actually provide that, and it really, I guess the best illustration is working with our clients in that, okay, how do you provide that? Well, we're not hiding anything. We are having every conversation that we can multiple times over, oftentimes the same conversation from a different angle or a different direction or perspective of, well, what happens if this happens? How's this going to work? Especially when we're talking about investment properties or any property in general, if this breaks, how are we going to fix that? And if we're cash flowing this much and this happens, and we're constantly sort of using the best information we have at hand to paint the different outcomes that could occur. And I think that being in that space, listening to your client to actually hear and understand them, to be able to come back and say, well, I hear what you're saying, and what I think you're saying is that you're concerned about what if all these break at the same time? Yeah. Or you're concerned about how are we going to do it this way if the tenant leaves, or and so you're walking through it, and I'm never having to say, well, that's never going to happen. I can guarantee you that I'm going to do my job well enough up front that this person's never going to do anything wrong or nothing's ever going to break.
We're dealing with humans.
Unfortunately, yeah. But being able to come at it and say, these are all the possibilities of things that can happen, good, bad, and otherwise. And here are the ways that we would handle them if these particular things came up. Turns out does provide comfort and confidence because we're here, right? We're going to walk you through that from beginning to end. Even the new guy that we met a couple weeks ago. Yeah. On the property management side.
That was just last week, by the way.
Was that? Lord help us. So yeah, last week, what he had said was that he's got properties kind of a smattering throughout the country, and he's been with larger sort of corporate structured management companies. He's been with some of the smaller boutiques is what the word he really liked. And it's like, yeah, okay, we kind of fit that bill. And he said, what I really want is somebody who's going to be able to not only sell me the property, but also know that they're going to be able to be the ones to manage it and help it cash flow, so that when they're looking at the property, they're not just going, okay, I really hope he wants to buy this one so we can, we can get paid and move on. We're looking at it going, hey, this is in a great area. Here's the cap rate. Here's what your return's really going to look like.
Here's what I can turn around.
Here's what we can do. Here's what I think if we went this way or that way. We're in the deal from beginning to end. And I loved it when he was putting it that way, because we got into the management part of this because we wanted to provide that full service.
Right. Talk about some validation that he's sitting there saying, I'm really looking for this type of business that can help me from the beginning to end, that when they're looking at the property, they're thinking about it as an investment opportunity, that they're going to continue to have a relationship with me professionally, not just in that, which we're not very transactional anyway. So like, y'all know y'all check with us, but, but it was really cool to hear that. And he just kept saying how, maybe we should make a game. How many times did Haley touch her freaking mic in this episode? But
he
kept telling you, he was looking for a company that he liked the fact that we were husband and wife. He liked the family owned. He liked that we were in our hometown, that we were trying to provide something to our industry that we would want back. And he just liked the idea that we were kind of boutique, that we were entrepreneurs, that we were that mindset. He was all about it, which is awesome because that's what we keep saying. And he just found us. Like he like Googled.
That's validation in and of itself.
Right?
Yeah. Every time I look at our website, I'm like, are we doing the marketing right? Is
this working?
Are we findable?
Everywhere? Yeah.
We are findable.
We are findable.
Thankfully.
But he was looking for us, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see that kind of come together. Another form of comfort and confidence, that he felt comfortable enough to pick up the phone. These look like people that I would want to work with. They look like the structure. It looks like it's set up. The words they're using are the words I want to hear. That type of stuff. And then sat down with a meeting, and you provided the confidence for him. It was funny at the end of it. I walked in at the end, and they're just like, we're good. All is good. Quit selling. We're sold. Like it was good. And I mean, it goes to show all the hard work and all the systems, all the things that we're putting in are starting to turn over. Yeah. But it's the same thing from the buy side to the property management side. Had to provide that comfort and that confidence for them to get to the finish line.
Well, one of the things that he said really was a big takeaway for me was he sat down, the first time anybody has on this side of it has sat down and said, so tell me how your business works. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I can tell you that's not a problem, but it caught me a little off guard because I hadn't heard that one before. So I start walking through, and from Next Home to BTRG Property Management, and
how we all intertwine,
how we fit together and how it all works. And absolutely, it's validation. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So really, kind of to wrap it all up, we have more inventory today than in recent memory. Yeah. And there are opportunities for buyers who may have been sitting on the sidelines that now's the time. Take a look around at least. Put a plan together so that when you're ready, you can jump. We're here to help. We're excited to be here. Yes. We're a relationship-based business. We love our people, love our clients, love our referral partners, and we would love to add new people to the mix.
Yeah, we're ready.
Bring it on.
Thank you.